Okay, so now it's just a case of continuing in the same manner. So I'm just going to keep adding breakdowns, working from the hips, checking the reference, looking from all angles. So let's start breaking it down. So immediately I can see it'd be great to start adding in some of the detail here. So I'm going to go for something when the hand initially starts to hit. Let's grab all those controls again. Stick it on linear, hit S, and then we've got somewhere to start from. Okay, so I'm going to look at the hips, and they seem to drop quite low, so I'm going to drop those down first. Get that crunch of the legs. Looks like we've got some slidey feet. Those feet aren't maintaining their position from our new breakdown and our keyframe. Some nice heel raise going on in the reference, which we want to get, but we don't want those feet sliding around. So I'm going to grab hold of those two controls and then just do a copy paste. So from frame 72, middle mouse click to frame 69, hit S, and it will copy those keys over. So now the feet will remain locked between those two keys. And now I want to use the inner Z attribute just to add some roll to the foot. It's just got a bit of a nice angle in the reference there, which would be great to get hold of, just to stagger the feeling of it hitting the ground, to make it feel a bit more natural and just get some of that residual motion from the landing. And maybe add some toe roll to it too. Oh, it doesn't like that very much, does it? Okay, let's undo. Try that again. Okay, that's better. Little glitch there. So just a bit of heel raise using the toe roll, just to exaggerate slightly, and there's a nice feeling on the knee in the reference of it moving screen right. Again, it's all these details that are going to make your animation feel more believable and give this landing that crunchy feeling we're after and add some weight to it. I'm trying to be careful I'm not going to break the ankle while I do this, but I think we'll be okay. The right foot looks like it's a little bit high there on that heel, so let's drop that, rotate that down, just using that attribute, bringing that right down. Looks like I've still got some attributes used, so let's zero those out. So like I say, just working from the hips and the kind of lower body stuff first, working out from the hips, seeing how that feels. Actually, looking back at the reference, the hips are quite a bit lower than we've got them. We've got the foot touching the butt. Yeah, it's much crunchier. So let's try and get some of that. Although maybe, doesn't feel quite right on our guy. Feels a little bit like we've broken him. So let's just raise it up a little bit so we're not making it look like he's shattered his pelvis. Okay, so we have fist on the ground, which stays in position. So again, I can copy and paste from 72 to 69. There we go. So that is on the ground. It's not reaching because my upper body is not in the correct place yet. So we need to rotate this down and say the chest as well, and the shoulder, give him somewhere to go. I'll just grab the chest, let's just rotate that back around a bit, it's not quite like that in the reference. Here we go. And now obviously we've got a knee going right through our arm, so we're just going to pull that knee out of the way. And now I'll just keep stepping through and just double checking everything, just checking the path of that arm, see where it's going. It feels like we're going to get a nice crunch on there after we hit the ground, which is cool. Again, just stepping backwards and forwards. So now I think we can move on to the left arm and trying to get some of that straight pull back on it. Remember, we spent a bit of time making that reference work, so we need to refer to it now. That's what it's there for. And just really try and take out what makes that move feel so good, why we liked it. We need to analyse it and get that stuff in there. So we're going to pull it back and then pull the head up as well, make sure we're looking at the horizon, just checking around from all angles, see how the pose feels, stepping through, seeing how it feels in motion. Are all the different body parts flowing nicely? Do they move nicely into the next position, or do they feel a bit clunky? And your eye will progress and you'll get quicker at spotting this stuff, but it does take some time, so don't be too hard on yourself. I do notice that the hips seem to be a little high, so I'll drop that down a little bit, fix that knee again, and step through again. I think maybe I pushed that chest a bit too far before. It's quite a big change, so let's just, yeah, I think I'll pull that back a little, just rotate it back in Y. It's not quite as big a change. So I'm noticing the body moves over to the left, but so does the chest, and I think it would be stronger if I just move the chest over. It would just give us a little bit more balance, and then you get the feeling of the hips moving out rather than the whole body. And it just makes him feel more solid. And he's got his eyes on the prize. Where is that head? It's got a little bit of a... Just notice the head has got... Could do with just leveling up a little bit here. So it's a little bit like a cat on the prowl, where they'll often keep their heads still and looking at their prey. And if we get the feeling of that happening here, so the eyes are locked on the target and the body's moving around it, you'll get a good feeling of performance out of him. You'll start to feel a bit more like there is at least some thought process going on in there. Okay, I think it's time to see how it's feeling, so let's hit play. Alright, pretty cool. Again, we just keep going, we'll keep fleshing it out, but it's nice. We've lost some of those big gaps. So in terms of blocking, it feels like I'm missing three things. So the initial leap needs work, so we need to figure out, because we've changed this pose now at the start of the shot, how we go from that into this. And it's going to be fairly similar. The arms will lead, and the basic principles will be the same. And then the other things we're missing is just the potentially another frame, another pose in the actual fall. And then I'd like to flesh out the landing so we feel the little bounce in there, which I'm not quite feeling at the moment. So I'm going to continue on and do that.